Alright, so I've got this eyeshadow palette and these paints, and I'm going to be doing a DIY watercolor palette video today. This is an old one I made a couple years back. It's pretty grimy. So yeah, so you just take the eyeshadow palette. It was $1 from the dollar store. Yeah, I'm a high roller. You take it, you just open it. I struggled with that a little bit. You open it, you clean it out, and then you fill it with watercolor paints. And there you have it, a quick, easy, portable palette, but also you could do it to just hold some extra paints, which is really what I'm doing here. Oh yeah, sandpaper and acrylic, optional. I wanted to paint the top white so that I would be able to have a mixing surface that I could see. So you sandpaper the outside and inside. The outside so that the paint will stick, and then the inside so that the watercolors will spread in a somewhat nice way. But the outside you want to sand so that the acrylic paint will stick to it. Yeah, so you're just going to put a few layers on that. Yeah, I blew dried. I used a blow dryer, excuse me, because I was just too lazy to wait for it to dry. You want to do a couple coats so it's more opaque. So the story behind me getting these paints is I walked into my school store and they were on sale for like $1.30, and I wasn't supposed to buy any new paints this year. That was my personal pledge, but they were so cheap, and it was a brand I hadn't used before, and I'm like, I can get colors I have never used before. So the brand is Grumbacher Academy. It's not special. It's just Grumbacher Academy. They're called Artist Watercolor, but they're Academy, so they're actually student grade paints. So I picked colors I hadn't used in watercolor before that I didn't have in my collection already, and those are Naples yellow, Indian yellow, I think it's Pearline maroon, then rose madder, and then there's Theo violet, which I think is some kind of phthalo violet. It says Theo, I don't really know what that means. And then there's indigo, there's Payne's gray, there's magnesium green, and Davies gray, and green earth hue, Van Dyke brown, and charcoal gray. And I was like, oh, that's a good palette to get. Yeah. So I've got some travel brushes, some water brushes. You fill them with water and you can carry them around with you. I wanted to simulate using the travel set in the wild, like if I was plein air painting, and then I have the finished palette filled with the Grumbacher paints. I've also got a paper towel. You always need a paper towel regardless of whether you're travel painting or painting in a studio. You need some kind of rag, something to mop colors up, something to wipe your brush on. It'll keep your colors clean, and it'll help you control your water, which is harder since you don't have any kind of water vessel or cup to help add or get less water or whatever. So you definitely need that paper towel. So I'm just prepping the brushes so that I don't have to keep taking off the caps. And then I'm gonna squeeze water onto the palette to just wet it in a few seconds, and then I'm gonna swatch them just so I can see the colors again, since, like I said, I hadn't used any of these colors before. This portrait, I was trying to I wanted to use all the colors, first of all, and then I wanted to use them all in like a colorful way. I don't really know if I was quite successful as I wanted to, because I ended up using more layers than I should have. If you're going to be painting with a travel set, you really would benefit from painting more directly and letting the colors mix on the page. And that's also a technique I'm trying to get better at, so my colors are more vibrant and I don't have to use as many layers to paint. But I'm working on it. I'm okay with how it turned out in the end after like not looking at it for as long and stepping back from it. So I'm pretty okay with it. I feel like it has a certain pre-Raphaelite quality. I'm trying to look at those artists currently just for some reference, and I want to do some studies. Those are like Waterhouse and Friedrich Leighton and those kind of artists, if you don't know what that is. Yeah, so I'm kind of okay with that. It has that kind of vibe, but it was definitely an experiment, and using the travel brush was interesting because I kept trying to reach for a water cup, but I didn't have one. I'm not really a fan of using these brushes because I feel like they're harder to control than a brush made out of hair, but I'm also more used to that, and I felt like water kept coming out of them when I didn't want that to happen. Like if I wanted a more drier technique, or even if I wanted more water, I had to like squeeze it out onto the palette, and it was just kind of annoying. But if this is what's between you and painting on the go, it's definitely, they're good products. They're good for what they do. I just prefer the traditional method, and that's just personal preference. Yeah, so just watch the rest of this, or not. You can stop watching. You can speed it up. You can mute me. Yeah, so that's really just what I wanted to talk about in this video. I think I'm going to be doing my watercolor collection soon, because I have a lot of palettes, and I just like watching those videos, and I think they're fun and interesting, and almost all of my palettes have a story behind them, like how I got them. Most of them were not just Teju went to store and bought a palette. It's like, I mean, I bought them all, most of them, I think, but it wasn't like a simple, I wanted it, so I got it. I think it's kind of interesting, some of them. I don't know. I'm kind of a boring person, so I think certain things are interesting, but yeah. It's about this point in this piece that I started really liking it. And the thing is, when you record yourself and watch back, you're like, I could have stopped here and it would have looked good, but I didn't do that, and I kept working on it, and that's okay too. I'm learning as well as you guys, if you're watching this. I assume that you're into art and you're trying to get better at it. So we're always learning and getting better. Do you guys like my rambling? Because it's pretty much my thoughts. I feel like if I wrote out what I wanted to say, I would end up sounding really weird, but I also sound kind of crazy and rambly since I don't write down what I'm gonna say. I'm just rewatching the video and I'm just talking. I don't know how these YouTubers do it, but I don't really want to be a YouTuber. I just want to talk about art with people and show people kind of what I'm doing. I also want to look back and see what I've done later. Be like, oh my gosh, look at that. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now. I'm sure some of you have stopped listening to me. Yep, I'll see you in the next video. If you do this, let me know. It's a pretty, like, people have done this before. I did not come up with this idea for this palette. I didn't do it, okay? I stole it from the internet, and plenty of YouTubers have done it, but I actually stole it from an art forum called Wet Canvas. Yeah, so. Okay. I keep saying I'm gonna stop talking and I don't. Bye!